Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee. On this July 2nd, it's 6:29 this morning. And Eric, it's been a cooler start. Seeing those 60s on the 7-day makes me happy. But then we get to the 80s and I just sweating.
Right, and unfortunately that's going to be the trend as we go throughout the next several days. We'll see temperatures in the 80s going into the 90s by this time next week. Current time is now 6:30 on the dot. Let's take a look here at Wayne County, Kentucky. Good morning to you folks there. 66 is the current temperature in Monticello. Humidity is at 100%. We have a nice calm wind at this hour. There's live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is quiet as of the bottom of the hour. And this is going to get a nice little break as we go throughout the next several days as high pressure is in control. You can see nothing to talk about, not a cloud in the sky throughout the Commonwealth. Today we're going to make a run for 85. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Sunglasses will be needed as you head out the door today. Now, the 4th of July is in a couple days. We'll have that forecast coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. But right now, it is 6:30. We'll toss it back to Amelia.
A man is dead after a crash in Wayne County. Deputies say it happened Monday night around 7 on West Kentucky Highway 90 at the intersection of Kentucky Highway 1546. A car hit a pickup truck. The driver of that car, a 59-year-old man, died at the scene. 2 adults and 2 children were in the truck. All 4 were taken to an area hospital. 2 of them were then flown to another hospital. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office pointed out that this intersection has seen several deadly crashes during the past couple of years. 1 person is dead after a dump truck crash. It happened yesterday morning on US 27 at the Lincoln-Pulaski County line, where Pulaski County officials say a dump truck and at least 1 other car crashed into each other. The Lincoln County Deputy Coroner confirmed that 1 person died in that crash. We don't yet know their name. Traffic is flowing again in that area. A 911 call in Pike County left troopers with Kentucky State Police in an hours-long standoff Monday night, resulting in the arrest of 1 man. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has the latest.
Troopers say the call came in after 11:30 Monday night when one Elkhorn City family reported an intruder.
The initial investigation showed that George Stanford had entered a residence there on West 5th Street and began making threats to the homeowner and the family inside the residence.
The family says Standifer, who lives in a camper next to their home, tried to shoot 1 man in the head and tried to shoot at a woman, so they shot back.
Stanford did attempt to fire a firearm twice, which the firearm did not fire. And then during the altercation, Stanford actually sustained 1 gunshot wound to the leg, and the homeowner and his family were able to force Stanford out of the residence and then called 911.
Upon arrival, troopers say they found Standifer in an alleyway behind the home and soon found themselves in an hours-long standoff.
I began talking with him and negotiating with him. He did have a firearm on him and made multiple threats to troopers to harm them.
Eventually, reports say Standifer dropped the gun and troopers were able to rush in and get him into custody, though he continued to resist arrest.
Anytime you have a situation where someone has a weapon and they're making threats to law enforcement or other people in the community, like such as the homeowners in this case, you know, it's a situation where you have to really be cautious. We want it always to end well. You know, we want the troopers, the citizens of the Commonwealth, and the subject just to be safe.
After receiving medical attention for his gunshot wound, Standifer was taken to the Pike County Detention Center on multiple charges, including attempted murder. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Standifer also faces charges of terroristic threatening and wanton endangerment of a police officer, among others. Reports say he smelled of alcohol at the time of his arrest. A man faces charges after a domestic dispute in Clay County led deputies to find multiple guns in his home. The sheriff's office says 44-year-old Jonathan Baker was arguing with a woman when deputies arrived Monday. She told them he had tried to take files from a hard drive and that he was a convicted felon. After confirming his record, deputies searched the home and found 3 rifles and a pistol. Baker was arrested for illegally possessing firearms. A man faces charges after reportedly giving marijuana to 2 juveniles in Corbin. A deputy was dispatched to a home on Gilbert Street on June 17th after reports that a stepfather had been providing drugs to girls. 2 girls were found outside the home and interviewed by the deputy. After gathering evidence, 59-year-old James K. Crease of Jeremiah was arrested. A 7-year-old boy died after being found unresponsive at a public pool in Richmond. The Madison County coroner says Santino Yancey Hardwick's death is being investigated as a drowning. It happened Monday afternoon at Paradise Cove Aquatic Center. First responders performed CPR, but Santino was pronounced dead at the hospital. Experts say this tragedy is a reminder of how quickly drowning can happen and why supervision and swim lessons are always crucial.
Parents are also being that extra layer of safety and being vigilant with their kids on the pool deck.
He says drowning can happen in as little as 20 seconds, and he recommends using only U.S. Coast Guard approved life jackets for safety. The prosecution in a Letcher County judge's murder has responded to a motion to dismiss an indictment against the former sheriff. Sean Mickey Steins is accused of shooting and killing Judge Kevin Mullins. Court filings show Steins' defense plans to plead insanity. His attorneys filed a motion last month to dismiss that indictment. They say the Commonwealth misled jurors and failed to record a meeting of the grand jury. They say in that meeting, a detective told the grand jury Steins was, quote, in his sane mind. The defense says that testimony was prohibited. The prosecution argues the opposite, asking the judge to deny the defense motion. A judge has not ruled on dismissing the indictment. 2 businesses in Perry County received a $10,000 grant. Coal Country Candles and Hot Mess Express are in downtown Hazard and were flooded in February. They received the Backing Small Business Disaster Recovery Grant, which is intended to provide critical financial support to small business owners recovering from recent natural disasters.
We received a Backing Small Business Disaster Recovery Grant, which is sponsored by American Express and Main Street America. That grant's for $10,000, so that's an amount that's definitely going to be instrumental in helping us get to the point that we're fully restored.
Gabbard says the February flood left 34 inches of water in her store. She's since reopened but is still working on the building. Some new laws are officially in place in Kentucky that could affect technology in schools and the ways teachers and students communicate. Senate Bill 181 went into effect Friday. It requires school boards to track online communication between students and staff. This means students and staff are no longer allowed to communicate through apps like Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat. Officials hope this new law will help protect students and develop more positive relationships with their teachers.
It's really just to make sure that communication, that the parents know about the communication between adults and their child at school, whether it's at sports or extracurricular activities or even in the classroom.
Another law that went into effect is House Bill 208. This would require Kentucky school boards to create policies banning the use of cell phones in the classroom. It's a law that Senator Robbie Mills says will promote better learning and better instruction.
An undistracted student is the best student to learn. We know that from a fact. And also teachers that aren't having to do discipline all day about putting your phone up, put your phone up, and continually saying that and causing them to have to lose their place while they're teaching will be a positive, I think, as well.
Well, there is an exception with House Bill 208 that allows students to use their phones in classrooms, but only in emergencies. For years, the 988 hotline has offered a press 3 button for LGBTQ callers seeking help. U.S. Health and Human Services leaders in the Trump administration say they're cutting this funding. The service is expected to end in just about 2 weeks, something mental health advocates in Kentucky say is a mistake. The specialized service will end July 17th, but the wider hotline will remain open. Molly Jones of the Pete Foundation, based in Louisville, argues high-risk groups need tailored care.
It's the same with the LGBTQ group. We can tailor that care. We can provide them a therapist, someone to talk to that has a better understanding of what they're suffering.
Federal officials launched the service as a pilot program in 2022. It's reported receiving nearly 1.3 million calls ever since. Doctors say as you plan your upcoming holiday weekend, keep in mind a new COVID-19 variant. It's related to the Omicron variant, nicknamed Nimbus. The variant is causing more than 40% of COVID cases. That's according to the CDC. In addition to the symptoms with previous variants like fever, runny nose, shortness of breath, cough, and body aches, the defining symptoms for this variant are what doctors call a razor blade sore throat.
It is really intense and it can last for a couple of days. And it's even as bad as like when you're just swallowing your saliva, just normal swallowing. It doesn't have to be with food or liquids or anything, just super intense pain.
Doctors say if you are having symptoms, stay home. If you do have to go out, wear a mask and wash your hands. If you're at a high risk of getting severely sick, doctors recommend getting that updated COVID vaccine.
This is seen on Buffalo Mountain, a beautiful sunrise as of 6:40 this morning. Temperatures right now in the 60s and 70s. You can see right here on the live pinpoint Doppler radar, all is quiet now throughout eastern Kentucky. Temperatures right now, again, 60s and 70s, 70 in Somerset, 71 in Monticello, 68 in Williamsburg, 67 in London. Manchester is at 69 degrees. If you have plans to take the car to the car wash today or tomorrow or Friday, definitely get out and enjoy that next 3 days. Not bad. By the way, Amelia, I heard Steve was going to be taking our cars to the car wash this afternoon. I don't think he knows it just yet, so, just make sure he's aware of that. I'll have your complete First Alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Amelia.